Bwimba Vianney.
Bwimba Vianney, good morning. Good morning, sir. Can you stand, Bwimba? Yes, I can, sir. Maybe not for too long, but I can stand for a while. Well, if you feel tired, we can ensure that you sit and rest. Now, you are suing for damages. Yes, sir. And you have a lawyer to defend you. Is there a lawyer or a representative, perhaps? But you decided that you should want to personally and make your point. So introduce yourself. Bwimba Vianney. My father is Sebastian Bwimba, and my mother is Goretti Ngabahizi. Date of birth, 2009. On 26 January. Where do you live? In Nyachonga village. And the cell is Nyamirambo district, Kayonza district, Eastern Province. Now, since you are a defendant, you have already been sworn in. You may just now answer a few questions of clarification to explain what happened to you and what problems you had. We'll give you time to do that, but since you are on crutches, if you're tired, we'll give you a seat. Yes, sir. Very well, then go ahead. Now, we were going to a celebration from Rusizi to Kigali and onward to Kayonza for the festival with my family. When we reached the Nyungwe forest, there was a roadblock. There were other cars as well, but you see that Nyungwe road, as you know, is a very windy road, and sometimes you only see things when you come round a corner, suddenly you fall into that. So, just a moment, you're going too fast. You're going too fast because you have to be registered. Okay, now, I think the registrar is a bit lost. Oh, go slow. So, where do you live? No, I was working in Rusizi. Your home is in Kayonza, Eastern Province. What were you doing in Rusizi? I am an animator. Very well, then begin. Not too fast. So, sir, I was then traveling in a car to Kigali, and when we reached the Nyungwe forest, there was a roadblock. I think it's a tree trunk across the road. So we said, maybe, I saw these army people. These army people are, you want to check. I say that because, in fact, previously, on the previous leg, we had made proper army checkups. And so when we got there, we saw that people in weapons were beating people up, burning a car. Their car was being burnt. Right. Now, I was sitting on the third bench in the bus, and somebody came and said, open the door. So the driver looked around. I could also see him. He was, a man with a dark complexion, sort of thin. I said, open. And I saw he was being very forceful. And then, meanwhile, they shot somebody on the front of the bus. Excuse me, who shot who? Not in the car. No, they shot somebody in front of the car, but not one of us in the car, because they just wanted us to come out. So the driver said, no, these people are shooting. So he reversed, and they kept shooting. They even shot at the driver, and then he drove now forward. Okay, so he drove forward, and they kept shooting at us, and just as the car was reversing, I was facing this man who was telling us to come out of the car, and he shot me through the window, or through the door. He shot at my leg. But I didn't know I was shot at. You know, it was like an electrical discharge. Didn't know what it was. And then there was a girl behind me, and I wanted to hide under the bench, but my leg couldn't get away soon enough. I couldn't hide it, so they shot the leg, and then the driver reversed, and then he went forward. Oh, we're being shot at, but we didn't know what it was. Really, we didn't know. We just very bizarre. Anyway, the car was shot at, and a tire burst, and it went off the road. It hit a tree, and then we came out through the windows. Because you know, with the impact against the tree, the car was somehow hanging over a ditch, but I came out. I was shot at, but I still felt enough strength. I tried to get out, but unfortunately I couldn't run, because then I realized that I had been shot in the thigh, and they had reached a nerve, and the young woman who was with me bandaged me, and then the other people were still shooting, and then they ran. She ran away. There was another man who was supporting me. They also ran, and but I couldn't run. So what I did, I dragged myself, and I decided to move a bit off the track that they have followed, and I hid under a bush, and I was praying for help, for God to help me. So this is why I could hear everything they were saying. So just a moment, what were they saying? They were speaking Kiswahili and Kinyarwanda, a mixture of Kinyarwanda and Kiswahili. And then I heard, just a moment, did you hear what they were saying? No, I just heard the sounds, but except one word. They say, Baraja Tujende, they are coming, let's go. And 15 minutes later, oh, just a moment. I was just saying that there was, in the car, there was a woman who couldn't get out. And the car was burning, and I was worrying. And I was hidden on the side, and then meanwhile there was another car that they wanted to arrest, and 15 minutes later I had a kind of projectile being thrown, and then I could hear another car coming, and these people ran away. And then when I got next to the road, there was a military car, and then there were other soldiers that I could see, and they started running a bit, you know, drizzling, and then the army came, the Rwandan army. They came, they collected us, put me in a car with first aid, took me to the hospital, but I was very badly wounded, so they took me to the teaching hospital. So in fact, I was very badly wounded. The doctor said, you are very lucky, because otherwise you could have been amputated but I wasn't amputated. So I was in hospital, they operated, they cleaned my wound, and they dressed it. And the doctor said, well, unfortunately, this is a very serious handicap. Your leg will never be the same. So I used to have physiotherapy. Meanwhile, they said, well, look, you are at the Butare Teaching Hospital. You don't need to remain here. You can go somewhere that is closer to your home, because any hospital or any even health center can change your bandage and dress your wound and so on. So you don't need to remain so far from your home. So I went home, and it took a long time, and then eventually I went for physiotherapy, and they restored my nerves, and I could feel better. But there is a time also that I went to the hospital, Kanombe Hospital, and I went through a test, and I was sent to the Ndera Hospital. These were checks for the nerves. And they were not working very well. So they said, well, physiotherapy will help you, but you know, there are better health centers or other hospitals that can treat you more professionally. Your leg, of course, will never be the same, but it can improve. Okay, so meanwhile, coronavirus came, and you know, where movements were restricted. But in any case, I can no longer work. I can stand for a long time, because you see, my profession was, you know, animator. I was actually, a master of ceremony, and I worked in that way. And this is a job where you have to stand. You can't be an MC if you don't stand. So my life is really spoiled. And I'm a young man. I was you know, if I was a strong young man, and I would run around, look for jobs, survive, look after my family, and now I can't do it anymore. So my dreams are all completely ruined, and sometimes, you see, I feel depressed, you know, because the nerve is the scientific nerve that comes from the sole of the leg, through the leg, and then up to the head. So he said, be very careful with your blood pressure. Don't let your blood pressure go up. And even now, my foot is, you know, sometimes it swells up. There are times when it improves, but very, very frequently I'm in pain. And the doctor said, well, don't tax yourself. You do exercise and physiotherapy, but don't tax yourself. Now, sir, Your Honor, I had finished secondary school, high school. I had all my dreams. Your Honor, you can understand, if you had a son of my age, what it would mean. So this is what I wanted to say, sir, Your Honor. And yes, I should ask that, you know, I conclude by saying that I think my life is broken. I can't move forward. So explain what you are doing. I am a professional master of ceremony and entertainer. And how physically, how do you feel now? Well, I'm in constant pain, Your Honor. It is a very, very serious accident, and I was wounded in many parts of the body. In fact, most of my body, as you say, is wounded on the thigh. You see, the fat, the thigh is a fatty tissue, and if I'm not treated properly and in good time, there are problems with the wound. It deteriorates, and also it has affected me mentally. I feel unwell. I feel depressed, and even lying down is a problem. It's only one position that I can lie in. Otherwise, I feel pain all over, everywhere. Thank you, Your Honor. This is what I wanted to say. Very well, very well. You may now sit. But just a moment. Is there anybody else who would want to ask a question? Maybe the defendants or the accused. Does anybody want to ask Vianney a question? Vianney Bwimba? I see no one. Vianney, you may sit.